Now, what diseases can you expect to get with your goldfish? Now, the quality of your fish is basically due to 50% water quality, so making sure that you have good water quality in your aquarium. So that's a good testing regime, whether that just means bring a sample of water down to the shop so we can check pH, KH, GH, ammonia, nitrite and nitrate, or nutrients. So the higher the quality of the food you feed, the less likely you're ever going to have problems with diseases. So assuming that you've addressed water quality and assuming that you've addressed nutrition, what happens if you actually get a disease, and what sort of disease can you get? The first disease which you're looking at with goldfish is white spot. White spot is the most common. Now, white spot is generally very easy to treat, and what a lot of people will recommend doing is having white spot cure on hand to treat the fish the first second that you see. If you do have to put in any medications, you need to remove any polyfilter or carbon or anything like that might strip the medication out of the water. But there are white spot cures which are very effective and very easy to treat white spot with. So white spot is when you see the little white spots on the fish, and you'll often see flicking and scratching. You'll see the fish don't look comfortable. The next thing is a bacterial infection. That's also quite treatable. There's various medications on the market that will treat a bacterial infection. And a bacteria is where you see like a white haziness that may be over the eyes, fins, or scales of the fish. So that's treatable as well. And if that breaks further out, it may become all furry, and that's a fungal infection. So obviously there are also medications available for fungal infections. Now, the other thing that tends to happen with goldfish as well is swim bladder issues. And that tends to be with the more laterally compressed goldfish, where their swim bladder may not have room and they may start floating and all sorts of stuff. So some people will feed them a pea and try various means to help the fish, but trying to avoid the laterally compressed ones. They don't tend to be as hardy as the standard looking goldfish. So a more standard looking fish is less likely to see issues with things like your buoyancy. The other issue that goldfish can come across as well, generally not in a well filtered, good water quality, good nutrition environment, is dropsy. And dropsy is where the fish, when you look down on them, the scales look like a pine cone, and you pretty much can't treat that. All you can really do is make sure that the environment is as healthy as possible so that issue isn't seen again, and it's not normally considered to be contagious. So there's just a bunch of things that you can consider and be aware of as far as disease is concerned. And if you do try a certain brand of medication and you run the course of the medication, you can consider doing it again if it doesn't work, but don't do it a third time. If the medication didn't work, you're better off changing brands, doing a water change and trying again with a different brand. Tends to be more effective than keep barking up the same tree if you haven't had success.